Hi, my name's Nathan Wise. We're here at Heartwood Mountain Sanctuary. I'm the social director here and part of the executive team. Heartwood Mountain Sanctuary is a retreat center in the hills of Northern California, about a mile from the center of the Emerald Triangle. So if you look behind me, you can see both Trinity and Mendocino counties, and the main canyon of the Eel River, of the main stem of the Eel, which is probably the future site of the Great Redwood Trail. Heartwood was founded in 1982 by Bruce and Chayla Berger as a residential massage school, and existed in that form for about 40 years. When I moved here in 1998, there were about 80 people living here. We've got about 40 rooms that all had bunk beds in them. When enrollment dropped off in 2008, we closed to update the facilities, built new kitchens, and updated all the buildings, and reopened as a permaculture school and farm-to-table living, and then further as a retreat center. We've been doing the retreat center thing for about 5 years. Obviously COVID threw a wrench in that, and the August complex, but the property and the ethos and the design is still here. We've spent a lot of years on the design of the space, how water flows across it, drought tolerant and native focused landscaping. There's a saline pool here at Heartwood, a sauna, a giant hot tub. Like I said, we've got about 40 rooms that are ready to go for guests right now. There's a straw bale temple down here behind us that was built in the 90s by volunteer labor. It's just a silent prayer space for anybody that's open all the time. They actually built it without locks. There's a cob building on the property. There's another load-bearing straw bale building. The cob house was the first permitted cob house in California. This was the Anzini Ranch in the 50s. In the 60s, there was a plan to dam Chemise Creek behind us here and make a lake, a reservoir. And Heartwood, the hunting lodge, and the airstrip were built to be like timeshares from the city for hunters. When the dam project fell through in the late 60s, early 70s, the Anzini Ranch, which was 4,000 acres, was broken into the Palo Verde subdivision, sold off in 40s. Bruce and Chayla came here and bought this place and started their school here. Heartwood has a huge collection of infrastructure out here. We've got a 40,000 gallon cistern that feeds about 30 buildings. As I said earlier, there's 35 rooms. We've got 6 one-bedroom cabins, 4 yurts, 3 three-bedroom houses, obviously the lodge, the temple, sauna, hot tub, pool, barns full of offices, and then there's 3 conference spaces. One that we call the Yoga Barn, one that we call Sunrise, and one that we call the Kiva. One of them's set up for audio video. The Yoga Barn has heated flooring so that it's a nice, comfortable place to do yoga. Cork floors throughout most of the buildings that have been updated. The commercial kitchen used to feed 80 people a day, 3 meals a day. It's doable for that. It's a nice big kitchen. And then a huge amount of, obviously, other equipment to maintain the place. Behind us, behind you, out of frame over there, is the maintenance building. It's got every light bulb, wire connector, weed whacker, chainsaw, every tool you could need to run the place. We've got a Bobcat skid steer with all the attachments, post hole driller, cement mixer, buckets and backhoes, and a bunch of trucks and vans. They all come with the property. This place is ready to go. A lot of the updates involved the Organic Grace, one of our local companies. So you've got organic Egyptian cotton sheets in the rooms. You've got natural paints and pigments in a lot of the rooms. So it's a place to get away from plastic and get out into the wilderness. One of the really special things about this place is the neighborhood was one of the first destinations of the Back to the Landers. So if you look out on the horizon, it looks like wilderness, but dotted around us, and generally in 40-acre increments, are artists and engineers, and from the city and from Los Angeles and New York that moved out here in the 70s to live a simpler form of life, build their own houses, and sort of get away and make their own idea of community. As you wander around here, you'll see 40 years worth of conscious plantings. One of our neighbors planted all the landscape, and it really focused on drought tolerant and resistant plants and native plants. You can see it requires very little care relatively to the size and scope of the landscape.